that the B, right, the belief is very powerful and we don't even know it's happening.
The main belief is something bad has happened and therefore I'm unsafe.
Even if I think something terrible happened, that there's nothing I could do.
I would be in a real state right now. I'd be like, how am I going to... But because I know, because I have a belief that fasting's good for me. Welcome to this episode on the real source of your suffering.
Person not answering my phone, my belief is good wishes, pure feelings, send love.
If you've ever wondered why you're suffering, why there's all these different types of suffering and what the actual deeper cause of it is and how to get out of it, then you're in the right place. Welcome to a Spiritual Sense podcast where we discuss deep spiritual topics and how you can use that in your life to feel more joy and peace. I'm here with Sister Shireen. Hello, Shireen. How are you doing?
Hello, Brother Michael. It feels like a long time.
It's been a long time. It has. And we are back at it once again, talking about some fascinating topics. This is something that you brought to the table. What was the impetus to talk about this topic? Why is it important?
You know, I was thinking about something recently. I was thinking, what if none of the trauma in my life or the people or the rejection or the disappointment or the anxiety, what if none of that is actually hurting me, right? It might sound hurtful to some people, like even offensive, but what if none of that is really hurting me? You know, what is the, the root cause of what's hurting me? Not the trauma that's going on or not what people said or what people did or what happened to me. And so I started doing a lot of research on this to see what was going on behind me feeling anxious or me feeling stressed or me feeling hurt.
That's very interesting. Because if I go to the store and they haven't got my favorite stuff, then it just wrecks my month completely. I don't know how I manage when I go in there. And I'm like, what the hell is going wrong with the world? My special organic tomatoes are not available. So these sort of situations,
I'm
there's big...
always very fascinated by the examples you pick.
I know. You have to have some humor in this whole situation because there are some much more serious things like major chronic illnesses and bankruptcy and divorce and all those sorts of things.
No complaints.
But I
find it quite amusing.
Yeah, well, we have to have a bit of variety. I remember hearing this quote once, you can decide to be happy or not, but you can decide to be happy no matter what. It's like not, am I going to be happy if, I get all the things that I want, or everything nice and organized in my little list of things that I like. But we can choose to have a higher state regardless. Now, we've all heard this, but actually implementing that and living from that space is a bit of a fine art, it has to be said.
Science supports you, right? Science supports your sentence about you can be happy. And I feel many times, because we use so much of science in our lives, right? Everywhere we are using technology, we are using science. We believe everything science tells us these days. And so we need to believe this. Right? Because the two research I want to mention where you can actually believe it and make your life better, right? Mm-hmm. Like many people believe that the Darwin's theory of evolution happened, which is fine. I'm not saying they're wrong or right. That's not the point. I'm just saying that whether you believe it or you don't believe it, ultimately it doesn't really affect your life. That kind of science ultimately doesn't affect your life. But this kind of science actually affects your life. It affects your day-to-day life. It affects the quality of your life. It affects the standard of your life. And so this kind of science, we really need to zero in and say, hey, this is something we need to look at.
But before we get into it, so the spiritual concept, which we've all heard, is that you can be happy and peaceful, and you're a peaceful being, and happiness is your natural nature, and there's no need to be upset about things. So we're going to get into some more, spiritual things in a minute. But what does the science say about this topic?
So there was this scientist, Albert Ellis, and he called it the ABC method. He said that there is an activating event, and then there is a belief, and then there is a consequence. And most people think the activating event causes the consequence. For example, something happens and I'm stressed, let's say, or I'm hurt. Most people think this happened and that is why I'm hurt. But what he found was that actually the belief causes the hurt, not the activating event. This is very important. The activating event itself does not cause hurt. The belief around the activating event causes hurt. And I could tell you a story that happened to me very recently.
Yes, let's hear all about it.
So I have a brother here who we will not talk about his marriage because it's, nothing I would tolerate in any marriage. But anyway, he's constantly, every day, every other day, he calls me. And about a week ago, he didn't call me for a few days. And I said, oh, I wonder why that brother didn't call me for a few days. So I tried to call him. And he wouldn't answer, right? He wouldn't answer. And my mind instantly, I got so stressed. My mind instantly went to this thing that, oh my God, the ice took him. Right? Yeah. That's what I thought. Oh my God, ice took him, right?
Or his wife killed him. His wife killed him.
His wife killed him. I hope she doesn't do that. No. But anyway, ice took him, right? I really thought that. And I was like, and even after 30 years of meditating, you try to, to relax and say, no, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm thinking he lives very far away, and I'm thinking, how do I go there? How do I know? No one's going to tell me what's going on with him. All of those things. And so anyway, after a few hours, I just so happened, I thought, what is going on here? And so I called him from another phone, right? And he picked up. I said, what happened? and he said, I don't know what happened. What do you mean what happened? He's totally clueless, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean what happened? And then we found out that his wife blocked my number on his phone.
Oh, gosh.
Right? And anyway, so there was an activating event, and there was so much stress around this activating event. I just thought the worst. And then because I didn't hear from him for a few days, right, which is so unusual. Well, there is a moral to the story. Don't get involved with married people. You know what I mean. He's my brother. I'm not, but they have weird dynamics going on. Just stay detached. But anyway, so there's an activating event going on, and then there is the cause. So the activating event is he didn't answer my phone. It was just saying not available. And then there was this stress and anxiety, right? And in the stress, and then the belief is what caused it, really, not the activating event. And that's what we need to understand, my beliefs around that. Him not answering the phone and what happened to him and all of those things. That belief actually caused the anxiety, not the fact that he didn't answer the phone.
Wow.
So after he answered the phone, I wanted to smack him and his wife. I didn't. Right. But then I realized, oh my God, there's another false belief going on here. Like there's false belief after false belief going on. How about just staying detached, staying totally detached?
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. So, what was the belief that you had that caused the feeling of stress?
That the belief was that it's like it's very unusual for him not to pick up the phone if I call, right? It's very, very unusual. So if he didn't pick up the phone, that means that, he's under ICE custody or something, right? Like I didn't think other things. The belief was, oh, something catastrophic
Something
happened to this.
catastrophic happened. He's like in custody, or he's been some other terrible thing has happened, and you're worried about him being dead or being in a seriously compromised situation. That's interesting. And then, of course, that would cause that kind of response, because if you genuinely think someone's in a seriously dangerous situation and you care about them, then of course, that's very interesting. So what could you have done instead then? What's the solution to this?
Watch as a detached observer. Watch as a detached observer. Really, become totally soul conscious. Use my third eye, my eye of discernment. And even if I think something terrible happened, that there's nothing I could do, really, right? And so to be able to send good wishes and pure feelings and not think that, oh, I could do something, right? I can't do anything. I can just send good wishes and pure feelings, whether it's, his controlling wife or whatever else, right? I could just send good wishes and pure feelings. And so those were the things. But also, one of the things, it's very important. There were two, I told you there were two research, right? So the ABC is one research, Albert Ellis's research. And then there is another research by Aaron Beck. And Aaron Beck found out that the B, right, the belief, is very powerful, and we don't even know it's happening. It is so powerful, it is automatic, and it just kicks in like this. It is a reaction that just kicks in, right? It's not like you're sitting here thinking, oh, let me get stressed about him being in ice, right? That's not what's going on. Like there's so much automatic stuff inside, like old sanskaras, old patterns, and old patterns of being, and everything that happened to you before. All of that is so automatic, you don't realize that the bee is it's camouflaged right now, right? For all of us, the beliefs around certain events is very camouflaged. And that's what Aaron Beck has found out, that it's so fast and it's so quick. And that, I feel, that is where we need help. That is where the third eye, right? The third eye, or the eye of discernment, or the eye of knowledge or spiritual understanding really comes in, is to address the belief part of our lives.
That's very interesting. And the beliefs, there's many different kinds of beliefs, but in essence the main belief is something bad has happened and therefore I'm unsafe, essentially. I mean, that kind of sums up a lot of beliefs, doesn't it? That this is a terrible thing, and I'm going to be in some way harmed because of it, essentially, isn't it? There's various versions of harm and different types of pain. Whereas
Yeah,
the spiritual...
in this case, right, it's not harm for me, it was harm for someone else. That was the feeling.
Well, it might not be harm for you, but there's a sense that something is wrong and bad, and the world is in a bad way in some form. Something is off. There's something wrong about this. In some form. Like if I let's say I get a message from someone like I did today, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that message. My belief behind it, the reaction is I don't like this, because there's all kinds of weird people around in the world, right? And they say strange things. So that's the activating event, the email. The belief is this is bad, or they shouldn't be like this, or how dare these people, or whatever the thing is, right? And that then leads me to feel a certain way, and it might lead me to act in a certain way, right? Because it happens immediately. If I sit back and go, hang on a minute, what if this is all good? Because this is like the key spiritual teaching that we have, is that first of all, we're spiritual beings, so that means we're always safe. Secondly, we come from our spiritual home, and we've come down here, and this is a game. And third thing is that everything in the great game of life is beneficial. That's a totally different belief system, isn't it? That is a belief, right? If I really believe that deeply, then I'll say, well, there must be benefits to this situation. And then I'll feel different about it, and then I'll act differently as well, But like you're saying, it happens so quickly that before we've had a chance to go, hang on a minute, I'm a soul, everything's fine, it's all good. It's already led to that emotional response. It's just, it's so fast, isn't it?
Right, right. Most people, right? Let's take the message you got from someone.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't realize that there's a B.
No,
they
they
just
don't.
think there is an A, which is you got a message, and then there is a C, the consequence of you got the message, and that the message created this consequence, right? The message created this consequence. They don't realize there's actually a belief around the message that's what is creating the consequence. One of the things I've noticed is, let's take, a phone call, right? In this case, phone call is, or actually, let's take another phone call, right? You sent a text to someone and they ignored you. And
good heavens, how could they? They didn't get back right away, because if they didn't get back right away, it means that they don't love me, they don't respect me, they don't care about me, or that they're dead. Basically. That's the only option. That's the only reason someone wouldn't get back right away.
right. So let's say you send someone a text, they don't get back to you, right? So you could think, oh my God, and let's say if, oh yeah, they don't love me, this and that, or they don't respect me, or you could think they're busy, right? There are three options here. So they're busy and they'll get back to me whenever they get back to me. So if your belief, now all three are beliefs, right? If your belief is they're busy, they'll get back to me whenever they get back to me, is peace and happiness, right? That's what you're going to feel. If you believe that, they didn't get back to you, and, or, why didn't they get back to me? Something is wrong with me. Then there is like low self-esteem and stress.
What did I do
something
wrong?
What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong? Do they not like me? Does it mean this? Like I remember I'll give an example, the practical example. This is really over the top. So I have tried to go offline many times, and I of course fail miserably because we're in an online world, right? But one time I put my phone and the internet plug right in a box, and I drove it 20 minutes away, and I walked up a mountain, and I put this box under a pile of rocks, and then I went back home, and I didn't have any internet or any phone, nothing, for like, I think it was about 10 days, right? So then I went and got the box, brought it back, undid the thing, plugged everything back in, checked my phone, and I had a series of progressively more disturbing messages from a friend of mine, right? So the first message is like, how are you doing, right? And because I didn't get back to him because I wasn't around. And then he said, are you all right? And then he said, are you ignoring me? And then he said, you're ghosting me. What have I done wrong? And then he's like, right, I don't like you anyway, and blah. And it got more and more and more unhinged to the point where he's like, I'm never talking to you again. Like, we're done. I'm like, and so I got this like string of messages. It was like 10 messages, and I thought, oh my God. So, because his belief was that I was ghosting him because I didn't like him. That's what his belief. And so I had to actually phone him up, and I said, bro, I have been away from the internet for a week, right? And we had to sort of de-escalate the situation, right? and just like bring it back. And I said, I'm not going to take anything you said personally, because I could have taken this seriously personally and been like, I don't want to talk.
Now that I do know you don't like me.
Like, yeah, I'm like, this is seriously unhinged, like completely unhinged. I could have easily said, well, that I don't want to be hanging around with people like that. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, forgave him for it, and told him if this ever happens again, it's because I'm offline. Do you know what I mean? I had to turn the thing off. Do you know what I mean? Like, just calm down.
I was thinking the third one, right? Like when you were talking about, let's say the third one is they don't respect me enough, right? They ghosting me, don't respect me enough.
Yeah, right.
And there's so much resentment, so much of those emotions that come up, right? So totally it's the belief around. It's the belief that is really causing these things. And so the story, right? That's the thing which the third eye teaches us. Because there is a story around an activating event, and the story is causing the consequence. Because there's a story going on in your head. In your friend's case, there was a story going on in his head, right? And so the third eye teaches us the story is just a story, no stories. Watch as a detached observer. No stories. And we can do it, right? Even though Aaron Beck research says that the belief is very wired in, and it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of practice. And that is why we need to open the third eye. This is why we need to open the third eye. This is why we need all kinds of knowledge, wisdom to open the third eye, because that's what stops the story. Okay, so if I wasn't meditating for so long, and something like what happened to my brother happened, let's say 30 years ago, I would be a basket case, because I would be so worried. So what happened to the soul? So worried, right? But in this case, it was just for a few minutes, and after a few minutes, I said, "Get a hold of yourself and go sit and meditate." Right?
It's going to be all right.
Go sit and meditate, and send good wishes, and send sakash to the soul, and whatever happens, happens, right? And that's what happened. And while I was meditating, while I was sending sakash, the thought came, call him from another phone and see what's going on.
There it is.
So, right. And so not only do solutions come, right? The third eye brings a lot of solutions, but you don't have the suffering that goes with it. The suffering that goes with the story. The story is not real.
Exactly. It's the suffering or the pain. Like, I'll give another example, right? Right now, I'm about 40 hours into a water fast, right? So I haven't eaten any food in coming up to 2 days, right? I've been drinking tea, and I have some water with like electrolytes in it. But I feel great, right? But a lot of people, if they hadn't eaten for 2 days, I actually was, when I did a longer fast, I watched a bunch of videos about this. A lot of people actually honestly believe if they don't eat for a day, they will literally die. Like genuinely, people really believe, like, if they go a whole day without eating, they won't wake up the next day. There's like, it will kill them. That's how honestly people believe. Turns out you can go a really long time without eating any food, and it's good for you. Not a really long fast, probably not a good thing for most people, but a day or 2 days.
It depends also, right, Michael? It depends also, right? Because my
depends on the health.
blood sugar, depends. My blood sugar gets very low.
it takes a while to get into ketosis where it starts burning the fat, and it takes us, and you have to have electrolytes, and there's a whole, we're not getting into the benefits of fasting and how to do it. But if I believed right now that I can't go more than a day without food, I would be in a real state right now. I'd be like, how am I going to? But because I have a belief that fasting's good for me, I don't do it very much. It's the first time I've done it in like 9 months or something. But I'm like, no, this is good. It actually has beneficial effects, that fasting has very particular benefits to the body that nothing else has. And so why not do it? Because I believe that, I can deal with slight lightheadedness and a slight rumbling of the tummy. And I tell myself, look, see this stuff here? That's your food right there. Go on, you can have it. There it is. There it is. There it is. Ooh, that's your food, right? And so now I don't mind about it. I'm like, yay, there it is. Get it down you. But if I didn't believe that, I would not be having a good time right now. I'd be like, Shireen, I haven't eaten in 2 days. There's no way I can do a podcast. So belief affects all kinds of things, and it affects our response to things. And let's come back to my ridiculous example of the store, right? I've been to the store many times to buy, like sometimes I get into cherries. Like there's 2 things I really like from the store. One is when the cherries are the best cherries in the world, level cherries, I have to have like a fridge full of them. And when the blueberries are just right, like right now, there are these crunchy blueberries. Have you had them, Shireen? The crunchy ones?
Yes, they're wonderful, aren't they?
Oh my goodness! I'm just
The joys of being in a body.
Joys of being in a body, and God bless America, right? For these reasons, right? So whenever I see those particular blueberries, I'm like, I have to buy as many as I can, right? And then without them going bad. So sometimes I've gone to the store to buy cherries or blueberries on purpose, which I normally don't go to the store just for one thing because it's a bit ridiculous. So I've gone to the store. I'm like, I've got to have my cherries. And I get in. There's no cherries. Completely.
How could they?
A cherry drought. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, this is just beyond belief.
Unacceptable.
Right? So my initial response is shock and horror. Shock and horror. And I could leave it like that. But this is ridiculous, right? But life is full of these sorts of situations, little things like this. Most of our life is getting upset about silly things all the time. Brother Neville, who's a spiritual teacher for many, many years, he was saying that oftentimes in life, big events, we can handle them actually in some ways better because we know they're a big event and we kind of help prepare ourselves. It's all the tedious little things back to back to back to back to back that actually get the better of us. So whether it's emails or there's no cherries. Yeah, exactly. Death by 1,000 cuts. So I go to the store, there's no cherries. My initial response is, what the hell? Like, I'm just being honest. I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is cherry season, right? But then I'm like, all right, what else can I get while I'm here? It's all right. And so I can let it go. But I know people who, like, I'll give another example. There's one friend of mine who is a client, and his father-in-law is like a multi-billionaire, right? So they rented this place in Maui, and they go to this place, a beautiful place on the beach, this perfect Airbnb, everything's perfect, right? They get there, everything's great, except the cleaners forgot to take out the trash, right? They just forgot to do it. Everything is, otherwise it's all clean. He had a total fit because of this situation, do you know what I mean? It just wrecked their trip, actually. He told me it wrecked the trip. So instead of being like, here we are in Maui, this is so awesome, look at the ocean. He's like, how the hell am I spending all this money and they didn't take out the... He could have just taken it out and walked over to the... do you know what I mean? And said, okay, it's all fine. But this is what life is made of, is endless little things where we're getting upset about stupid little things. So what's the solution? What's the solution?
Hold on one second. I was thinking about this whole idea of getting upset because the trash wasn't taken out, right?
It's just
because
shocking.
a lot of us do the same thing. It's not just your friend, right? A lot of us, we just don't appreciate everything that life is offering us, and we decide to go off the deep end over one little thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that the idea around every time I get upset, right, that I need to keep a journal. Okay, why am I getting upset now? And I'm saying this because I started, right? I started after that incident with my brother. Is okay, what is going on? What is going on, right? What is, you know, all of the angles in with which the belief is going on, right? To flush out the belief, to really flush out the belief. That I feel really helps to flush out the belief and to change the belief, right? So I did this. So going back, case in point, my brother didn't answer the phone instead of thinking he's, in a detention facility somewhere. So, and, even if he's in a detention facility, no one will tell me, and, all of those things. Right? So the beliefs, all the beliefs around it, right? And what is the belief I can change? How can I change that belief? What can I do in that situation? What is the belief I can do, right? Because in different situations, it's different. Let's say if you really care about someone, right, and they're not returning your phone calls or something, of course you will feel, I'm less than, I'm not enough, or this or that, right? Your mind is going, or an incident that happened with me recently where I feel, oh, they're not respecting me, this and that, right? I mean, a different version of it. And so, a different version of an incident where I felt, oh, the person wasn't respecting me enough. And so, to really write all of the beliefs around it, right, around whatever I'm experiencing, and to find the right belief and transform it. So what I did is, in each of the situation, I went back to the same sequence of events, and now I changed my belief. So the person not answering my phone is, my belief is good wishes, pure feelings, send love, right? That's what I need to do. And that's what is going to reach the soul, no matter which detention facility they are in. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's going to reach the soul, right? And so went back to the event, and instead of me reacting the way I was reacting, I started doing that, sending love and good wishes and pure feelings, right? And then again with another incident where I felt the person was not respecting me enough, again the same thing, love and good wishes and pure feelings. Go back to the event, love and good wishes and pure feelings, love and good wishes and pure feelings, because that really helps. Because the next time this happens, you will not be so quick to react. You'll go back to what you were practicing.
That's beautiful. So you can keep a diary or something. I got upset about this thing that happened. The reason I got upset, so this thing happened, I got upset. The reason it happened is because of the belief. What was the belief that caused me to feel that way? It's very, very good. And there's different beliefs, there's different like upgraded beliefs for every negative belief. Like another one that's very common is, for example, let's say someone does something and they fail, right? Like, I'll give a practical example. I'm learning to play Claire de Lune. You know Claire de Lune, Shireen, the song? You should listen to it. It's just gorgeous. Claire de Lune on the piano. And to be perfectly honest, I've only learned the beginning of it, and I can't say I've ever played the entire beginning properly once, right? So I could easily say the activating incident is that I'm trying to play this song and I'm not able to do it, right? I could believe that therefore I am a terrible pianist and I'm never going to get any good at it, and that would then lead me to just give up and say, you know what, I'm just going to sell the piano. What's the point? I'm just terrible at this thing. It's never going to happen, right? That's what a lot of people do with everything. They start something, doesn't get the result, and they think, oh, well, whatever, give it up, right? The belief I have, because I reprogram myself about this, is that the only way to get good at the piano is to practice playing the piano and to enjoy the process. And because it's such a wonderful song, it's just getting any of it right. I'm just like, this is great. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a beautiful tune. But if I didn't have that belief, 100% I would have abandoned ship by now. Do you know what I mean? And I actually keep getting to further parts of this piece, and I'm like, this is no way I can play that. Like, that's way too hard, you know, because it's like, it's all the way up and down the keys. And, but I'm like, no, let me just sit down for 10 minutes and just have a go at it. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it because I know that I'm better than I was before I started, right? But other times I've just been like, well, I'm not good at this. Like some certain things with like social media stuff. I'm like, I posted stuff and no one liked it. It means I'm no good. I'm no good at this. I should just give up. That's honestly what I've thought many, many times. And then I don't do anything for a year or for 2 years or 10 years. So this is very powerful. So what's the takeaway? What does everyone need to be doing to sort this out once and for all?
You're a soul. Open the third eye. Find the best possible belief in any situation. Don't give excuses to yourself, right? Call out your beliefs. Shine a light on them. Call them out. And then transform them. That's what is opening the third eye. That's like the practical way to open your third eye. Don't believe the story. No story. There shouldn't be a story around any situation. And you think, oh, but then what about life, right? That's when life really gets enjoyable, when you don't have a story about situations.
Yeah, because you can enjoy it for what it is. I find like going back to zero, because the fundamental belief that seems to be going on that causes all this problem is I expect everything to be the way I like it all the time. Basically, I damn well expect everything to work out how I want all day long. And if it doesn't, it's just not fair. But if I can give that up and say life is a blessing just to be alive and let me see what happens, then it's like, oh, well, look, there's something to experience here. And there's all kinds of experiences to be had as a detached observer. So these are very, very deep things. And the more we meditate, the more we connect with God and our higher self, the more we feel that safety and peace. And then we can actually see life in a somewhat of a light-hearted, liberated state of consciousness. Yay, let's have a blessing.
Which number?
25.
Decisiveness.
Ooh.
You have mastered the art of viewing situations with clarity and understanding. This is God's blessing for you. Decisiveness. You have mastered the art of viewing situations with clarity and understanding. This emotional detachment has sparked an awareness, leading you down the right path, no matter the challenges. Your stillness and composure fuel your wisdom.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. That's very relevant to what we're talking about. And we would love to hear from you, our lovely listeners and viewers. What did you learn from today's episode? We don't get enough comments. We want more comments. And I realize unless we ask for comments, we're not going to get them. Because we love to hear from what you've learned. So if you have any comments, anything you'd like to share, let us know in the comments or leave a review if you're listening to the podcast on the podcast platforms. And in case you don't know, we have thousands of dollars worth of free courses and programs and meditations from our hearts to you, and you can get them all in the description. So lots of love. Look forward to hearing from you. Many, many blessings.